Pooh Shiesty's new album is sad.
Y'all remember back in April when we found out that Pooh Shiesty actually robbed and kidnapped Gucci Mane?
Shit, oh, shit. You dropping this dumb bitch.
Bro, let them know you done. Let them know you dropping me,
I
bro.
drop him.
No, say it.
Pooh Shiesty dropped from 1017.
Shout out to real nigga ain't never did no police shit or none of that, bro. Tell them what's going on.
Bro, we just did that. That's done.
What you do?
You dropped. You said you want to be dropped. You dropped.
Signed the paper and everything.
And then Gucci Mane actually dropped a diss record called Crash Dummy going at Pooh Shiesty. Well, looks like Gucci is now getting the last laugh. Now, if we go back to the record Crash Dummy, Gucci Mane says off rip, tell the truth, you went out like a real crash dummy. And after all that, boy, you still signed to me. Back then, it was hard to truly understand exactly how stupid this was. Kidnapping your goddamn label owner, forcing him to sign a contract, and also recording the whole thing. At this point, Pooh Shiesty has to go down as one of the dumbest criminal rappers ever. And the worst part about this whole thing, you guys, I don't think Pooh Shiesty has actually learned his lesson. If Pooh Shiesty was to come out of jail tomorrow, he'd probably get on interviews and brag about what he just did. Now, a couple hours ago, Pooh Shiesty, the slime boss himself, announced he was going to be dropping an album this Friday. The album is called All Eyes on Shiest, and to accompany the album, Pooh Shiesty just dropped a single called Last Man Breathing. Now, just imagine if you're Pooh Shiesty, you're currently in jail for robbing and kidnapping your label owner. Your trial is about to start. On top of that, the label owner decides, hey, you know what? This Friday, we're going to be dropping an album, your album. And guess who's going to eat off that album? That's right, you guys, Gucci Mane himself.
Lights up, mics up. Let's get these likes up. Hit that subscribe. Welcome back to Talking Facts. Pooh Shiesty is 26 and he's facing life in prison for kidnapping and a robbery of a man called Gucci Mane, who is the owner of his music label. The reason that this album that he's about to drop called All Eyes on Shiest is sad because after doing all that and getting caught with his dad and others, Pooh Shiesty still has to pay 1017 and Gucci Mane record label for this album that somehow he thought he was going to get out of this by sticking a gun in this guy's side and blocking the door so he can't get out and making him to forcing him to sign the contract and quote unquote dropping from the label, right? You heard the video where he said Pooh Shiesty dropped from 1017, right? Well, that won't hold him in court, and that will actually probably go against him in court because in that very same video where he forced Gucci Mane to repeat it, Pooh Shiesty dropped from 1017, right? Where he forced him to repeat it, they show a gun in that video. And when you see that gun and him being restricted from leaving that room, that in essence became kidnapping. The reason that I say that this album is sad because him being 26 means he might live the rest of his life in prison with many cars out there that he could have been driving, many women and this, that, and the third, homes and places he could have been going. He has thrown his life away in essence for a moment in time where he thought that Gucci Mane was not going to actually snitch, quote unquote, and tell that he came through with weapons and forcibly made him sign a contract the same way that Eazy-E was forced to sign his contract back in the day. That can't hold him in court. I don't know if he knew that or didn't know that, but they damn sure didn't think this through when they recorded themselves doing this crime. What I know about most young artists, they feel like at first, they're excited about getting any kind of deal, gang. I'm just going to be honest. And then after a while, people start getting in their ear. And when they get too successful, they start wanting to figure out why I'm giving this guy X amount of percentage. Why is he getting paid? Why is she getting paid? I'm doing all the work. I'm doing all the heavy lifting. And after a while, they start to forget what's being done for them. Because most of these artists wouldn't make it without the people in their corner, especially a Gucci Mane. That's already a leg up. Let's just be honest. Somehow, some way, someone got in his ear and told him that you could be doing better by yourself. And apparently people are speculating that one of Gucci Mane's rivals is the guy that was in his ear because they're saying that he was going to go sign with that label. Okay. Now, again, I don't know none of this money bag, none of this stuff that's they're saying out there in the streets. I don't know how true or false that is, but I do know in that video, you see Pooh Shiesty, you see his dad, and you see a couple others doing activities that they probably wish they didn't do. right? And these guys really didn't get a lot of money from this situation. Some of them went home on buses and things of that nature, if I'm not mistaken. They didn't even know this guy that well. Let's just be honest. So let me talk about this, and we're going to have a conversation. But the reason I'm saying this is sad is because a 26-year-old rap artist once again has thrown everything away. This guy wasn't even out of prison that many months before he went right back in with this situation. He's still trying to get bail. They're not trying to let him out. His dad is out and others, but he's still in there. Let's talk about it. Let me read this and we're going to have a conversation. So, the relationship between Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane escalated into one of the most unprecedented legal battles in hip-hop history. And I'm going to go on record to say that this album release is one of the saddest in hip-hop history because a lot of people have had albums that they had to give the residuals to, right? Don't Game got that girl that sued him. He got to give the residuals from his album to her. And when Eazy-E filed suit against Dr. Dre had to give Eazy-E money from the Chronic and this, that, and the third, and everything Dr. Dre made for a few years because they tried to do the same thing that Pooh Shiesty did to Gucci Mane. They tried to do it to Eazy-E under duress, and Eazy-E fought it and won. Well, this one's worse because not only is he giving a portion of his earnings from this album back to Gucci Mane, he's still in prison for it, and he might not ever get out. He might not ever get out to reap the benefits of his labor, the fruits of his labor. He might not ever see it. The biggest problem is it was so ridiculous to even try it. That was the worst part about it. It made no sense from the beginning. The plan was foiled before he even got the plot off. He was already on papers. He had an ankle bracelet, right? If I'm not mistaken, there was a lot of reasons for this for someone in this group to say, "Hold up, gang, we might not want to do this. It's a bad idea. It's terrible." And his father went with him. So this is pretty sad that a 26-year-old kid who should know better, but he doesn't. He goes and throws his life away and still going to have to pay this man. He's still on his label. This guy still can decide what music comes out and what don't. It's pathetic, gang. Let me finish reading this. Despite a federal kidnapping and armed robbery case between the two, Gucci Mane's 1017 is still moving forward with the release of Shiesty's new studio album, All Eyes on Shiest, right? The January 26th Dallas studio setup. Let's talk about what actually happened. We're going to get a full account. The multi-million-dollar business partnership fractured completely on January 10th, 2026. According to federal prosecutors, Pooh Shiesty arranged what was supposed to be a standard business meeting with Gucci Mane at a recording studio in Dallas, Texas, to discuss his contract. Shiesty produced a printed contractual release form, and when Gucci Mane initially refused to sign it, Shiesty held him at gunpoint with an AK-style automatic rifle. Fellow rapper Big 30 allegedly recorded the encounter on his cell phone while another armed defendant blocked the exit. That's where they messed up, gang. But you can't make him do something if he can leave the room. So they run hand in hand. It ain't a robbery without a kidnapping. Let me keep it pushing. Gucci Mane was forced to sign the paperwork under extreme duress, gang. You know it's under extreme duress when he go. Pooh 17 dropped from Pooh Shiesty dropped from 1017. I said it. Pooh Shiesty dropped from 1017. Right there, that's duress. You know he didn't want to say that shit at all. Let me continue. Shiesty and his team allegedly robbed Gucci Mane of $450,000 worth of personal property, which included cash, his watch, earrings, and his wedding band. Gang, that was a little foul to take the man's wedding band. It took the wedding band, took the wife's ring, this, that, and the third. Everybody in the room, if I'm not mistaken, got robbed, right? Following the dynamic fallout, details emerged surrounding the sudden hostility. Rumors spread online via Shiesty's mother and public commentators like Charleston White. You know Charleston White got to stick his nose in every goddamn thing. They alleged that Gucci Mane's label generated over $20 million from Shiesty's catalog while Shiesty was serving a previous prison sentence. I mean, they are the label, gang. Like, if the guy's hot, they're going to generate money. When Homeboy got out, he bought 5 cars, if I'm not mistaken. Expensive cars, gang. Maybachs and shit like that. Let me continue. When Shiesty allegedly requested his share of the earnings and his master recordings back, Gucci Mane allegedly claimed there was no money left for him, sparking the contract dispute. I'm going to say this, and I'm just going to keep it a buck. There's no way that he said there's no money left for him. So I don't know about that part. There's no way you're going to tell a grown man that they see you making a whole lot of money. They're not going to say there's no money left. So I'm going to go ahead and say I don't know if that really happened, but it don't sound right because I just saw a video of Gilly from Gilly and Wallow going to visit going to visit Pooh Shiesty, and he had about 5 brand new sports cars after 2 months out of getting out of prison. So I don't know if he told him there was no money left. Okay, let me continue. In April 26, several men, including Pooh Shiesty, Big 30, and Shiesty's father, were arrested on federal kidnapping and robbery charges stemming from the incident. So they did it in January, got locked up in April. Right? That's what it sounds like. Let me continue. Just 2 days after a judge denied Shiesty's bond, Gucci Mane released a diss track titled Crash Dummy. In the song, he explicitly confirmed the ambush and mocked Shiesty's attempt to forcefully break the contract. Now, gang, let me just say this. I said it then, I say it now, I stand on it. No, I do not live by street code rules. Gucci does. So at that point, with this song, Crash Dummy, Gucci snitching. Okay? I don't care how you slice it and dice it. He's a businessman, Charles. I get all that's true. But at the end of the day, if you make a song about the crime and you were the victim, but you're a Gucci Mane, you're snitching. I'm just going to be honest. So end of the day, that's where this is at. I don't care one way or other what he do, what he say, nothing about the business that he got going on with him. But if we're going to be honest, we're going to be honest and say this is what it is. But that's what Pooh Shiesty was banking on. He says in the video, yo, Gucci, you a real solid dude. That's why I rock with you. You never get involved with no police. Well, this record probably will be used in court along with other statements that he's made. So he actually does get involved with the police when he can't handle the shit himself. At this point, he couldn't handle himself, so he went and got the police. At the end of the day, police was coming anyway because the other people in his party, he called them. He had an ex-cop as one of his securities allegedly, and there were other people in the room. So they don't live by these street codes. He does. End of the day. So they were banking that Gucci wouldn't tell. That's what he said in the video. That's what he believed. That's why he went and did it under duress. And them filming this himself, that was nonsense. I don't know who that was for. I don't know if that was for the hood so they could show what they did to Gucci, this, that, and the third, so they can prove it because nobody was going to believe it. But the dumbest thing on earth was to film this crime because now the police got the footage. Which, I'm just going to be honest, I think somebody that helped film that footage gave that to the cops. Okay, there's a little thing called cooperation. I think somebody in there is cooperating. Let me continue. Despite the violent contract dispute, the gunpoint release paperwork is legally void because it was signed under duress. Consequently, Pooh Shiesty remains tightly bound to 1017 Global Music LLC and Atlantic Recording Corporation. And Atlantic, about their money, they ain't got no reason to let you out of nothing. I promise you, they not letting nothing up. They not letting nothing up. Pooh Shiesty was officially denied bail and will remain behind bars until his federal trial begins on February 22nd, 2027. If convicted of kidnapping and robbery, he faces a maximum sentence of life in prison. On August 5th, Shiesty's team, let me say that again, Shiesty's team, not Gucci, Shiesty's team is pushing his album. Shiesty's team dropped a surprise trailer and the lead single, Last Man Breathing. The 17-track project, All Eyes on Shiesty, is fully authorized by Gucci Mane's 1017 Records to monetize Shiesty's existing catalog while he awaits trial. Now, the thing about it is, while he's awaiting trial, apparently they're trying to do this because they feel like he needs money, right? Now, end of the day, he probably does need money. But at the same time, the problem with that is it's going to kind of hurt his case because some of the things he's saying on here aren't very flattering. He's saying quite a few things that may be used against him just like the other things, okay? End of the day, it's a point where you need to just slow down and chill out. I think what they're doing right now might be a little bit rushed. They might not be prepared to drop a song or album right now because some of the things he says in this song like this. He said, let me get to just the hook alone. The hook alone, right? I wouldn't want this out there if I'm on trial for my life, I'm going to be honest. Being a rapper and a killer at the same time ain't easy. Gotta be the last mother effer breathing. Ever since I got my first button, spanking shit been easy. Gotta be the last mother effer breathing. Shoulda shot his ass, thought he was dead, he still breathing. I bet he ain't the last mother effer breathing. 30 niggas said they want me dead, don't even know the reason. Bet I be the last mother effer breathing. Being a rapper and a killer at the same time ain't easy. Gotta be the last mother effer breathing. Ever since I got my first button, spanking shit been easy. Gotta be the last mother effer breezy. That first line of that hook is the big problem. That first line, being a rapper and a killer at the same time ain't easy, gang. You got to understand what's going on. They're starting to listen to these lyrics with a fine-tooth comb. And as much as we're fighting to keep the lyrics out of the courtroom, it ain't always working. And some of these lyrics will get played in that courtroom. Or some of the jurors will hear this stuff before they even get in the courtroom. I don't think they need to be pulling out records of this kind. I'm just going to be honest. I understand that this is how he makes his money, and this is an expression of an artistic expression. But some of this stuff, the violent talk, I think they might want to lay low for a while. It's a lot of other lyrics in this song that they're going to be pointing at. And not to mention the other lyrics that they already got him on trial, they're going to be bringing into the trial, into the court case. So I feel like this album might be ill-advised. I think they might want to wait till the trial drop and put it out after. But they're going to be fine-tooth combing, and who knows? God knows what he says in here in the rest of these songs. It could be some links to what happened in the situation, in the crime. You know how these rappers, they love to tell what happened, whether it's full on or not, whether it's exaggerated or not. They love to tell you what happened because it makes them feel realer, right? It makes them look realer, makes them look stronger in these streets. So I think that this is not a great idea to drop this album right now, but I can't call it. These rappers do what they want to do, and the fans respond. So for his fans, it's going to be awesome. But for his court case, might be a bad idea. We'll see what happens, man. But listen, I feel like at the end of the day, Gucci Mane is going to be eating off this kid for at least a decade or more. He's not going to let him out the contract unless he's forced, right? Or unless he falls off. End of the day, he might not even need to be worrying about a contract because that might be the last music he gets to put out. Just gonna be honest, and after a while, you do fade. Once you're off these streets for a while, your name, your buzz goes away anyway. So anything can happen. But the worst thing on earth that this guy did was try to handle that contract with weapons. Right? He robbed them and stripped them down of everything he had and took everything from him. That was the worst thing he could have did. You deal with this with lawyers, young fella. You go get your lawyer and you make them understand why the contract is bad, and then they go out their way to get you out of it. You don't go in there with a gun, pistol, anything. You don't go in there with violence. And Dad should have told him that for the jump. Listen, man, gang, I'm out of here. I don't got enough to say about this. Head on over to black-yeti.com. Let them know who sent you. They ship all over the continental U.S. Wednesday nights, we go live on the What Show, me, TJ, and Fliz. Tap in about 9:15, 9:30. All right, head over to my Patreon. Join my Patreon. You can join that for free, but I do put exclusive content on there as well, right? My guy Four Eyes, Ugly Professor, got a new album. It's called Addition by Subtraction. Myself and others are all over that album. It's all really good MCs. If you like real good hip-hop, go download that or play it on your favorite streaming service. All right? Listen, gang, every morning, Monday through Friday, I go live about 8 o'clock, 8:15. It's called, my show is called This, That, and the Third, and we cover just news and shit of that nature. Get in the comments. Let me know what you think, man. I'm out of here. I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.
Get my coat, get my sheepskin, grab my wallet, get my pocket knife, and get that hat right there. We out. Grab my pocket knife too. Let's go. When I first came to the city, niggas didn't believe me. I just wanted to join a team and throw assist pass easily. 6 man off the bench, alley-oop pass freely. Suit up for one game and hope a scout might see me. But nah, niggas is greedy, wasn't rocking with him. Unplugged the scoreboard and put a lock on the gym. Told me to power forward, point guard at the rim. And left me with no center and a ball full of phlegm. Not knowing that I'm a dog, a Rottweiler within. With the heart of a pit bull that don't bark for pretend. My bites cut deep, break the bone and the skin. With the level of hustlenomics you do not comprehend. So first I took a block down on the west side end. and then secure the spot with some goons and some kin, and then send out some flyers, let the games begin. And in 6 months time, the city like that's him. Oh yeah, he the one that moved the hustle to the burbs, and yeah, he the one that knocked the hustlers off the curb, and yeah, he the one that set up shop without a word, and he the one that got it cracking, and all he did was rapping by the Hooters. I kept killers from being shooters. Put a mic in a thug's hand, now he loyal like Pats fans. Take a man off the streets past the needles and crack cans. Promise mama to keep him safe, then put some food in his face, and he'll kill for you. But I don't need him for that. Click like, click share, tell them bitches we back. Share the whole location, tell them niggas where we at. Cause we out here, we ain't the cheese, we the trap.